There are some things in this world you should never trust. I learned that the hard way. Every time I let my guard down, I was the one who ended up paying the price. And the ones who fooled me the most were the girls who acted kind. This is the story of a boy, the MC, who lost all faith in women after being betrayed over and over again. The name of the MC is Youtah. Wherever he walks, people always glance behind him. The girls? They're furious, but not because of anything he did. Youtah is just an ordinary high school boy, but he doesn't trust girls anymore. Why? Because time after time they've tricked him, used him, and walked away without a second thought. He's had enough. The girls would come up to him and say, "Hey Youtah, could you give this to your brother?" Every time it was always about his older brother. "I'm sorry, Youtah. It wasn't you. It was your brother they liked. Not you." That was the moment he had enough. Youtah, the MC, made up his mind. "I'm done putting my trust in girls." He says to himself, "Yeah, that's how it always is." As the girls rush past him to chase after his brother, one stands just behind him. A real beauty. She smiles and says, "Good morning." But in Youtah's mind, the thought is already clear. Every single one of them, even this one standing right in front of me, they're all the same. She keeps following Youtah around, always trying to stir things up with a casual good morning, here and there. But one day he snaps. Outside, under the gloomy sky, he suddenly yells, "Give it a rest already. I'm sick of it." I'm not saying it back. Unfazed, the girl just smiles and replies, "Well, I couldn't hear your answer anyway." So finally, Youtah gives in. Just like she's been waiting for, he mutters, "Good morning." She flashes a beautiful smile and replies, "Good morning." Then she walks away, calm and graceful. He watches her go, her expression lingering in his mind like a tight grip. "Why am I getting flustered? Pull yourself together, idiot," he thinks. "She's been talking to me a lot lately." That's right. She's Zoe Hojo, from my class. Everyone greets her with a cheerful good morning. It's no surprise, Zoe Hojo is known for being cute. Some even say she's the perfect match for my third-year older brother. Then a shorter girl chimes in. "I heard they're selling special bread today." The MC, Youtah, doesn't even hesitate. He's sure she's just another one chasing after his brother too. But before he can finish that thought, she suddenly turns to him and asks, "Hey Tohno, what kind of bread do you like?" She stares straight into Youtah's face as he hesitates, lost in thought. "Why is she asking me this all of a sudden?" "Melon bread," he finally replies. Her eyes light up. "Then you should totally swing by the cafeteria today. They'll definitely have melon bread, you know?" "Why yeah? What?" He stumbles. Inside, Youtah is spiraling. What is with this girl? She's seriously throwing me off. Even though he brushes it off, Youtah actually goes and buys the melon bread. Later, during class, everyone's fired up. It's finally time for gym. Out on the court, under the gym lights, we see her, Zoe Hojo, in her basketball jersey, playing right alongside the MC, Youtah. From the sidelines, one of his friends nudges him and says, "Hey, Youtah, you know that girl, right? She's seriously cute. You think so too, don't you?" Another friend adds, "You can never tell what she's really thinking, but that mysterious vibe, that's what makes her so interesting. Don't you think? She's just doing her own thing, like always. Not only is she cute, but her grades are solid too. And even in sports, yeah, she holds her own." We watch as Zoe Hojo dribbles the basketball down the court. Youtah glances over, skeptical. She's not really pulling this off, is she? Then she suddenly calls for the pass. Why's she asking for that? There's no way she's scoring from there. She takes the shot, misses. "See? Told you." And yet, she looks completely satisfied. Why does she look so pleased with herself, even after that? Standing beside him, Youtah's friend says, "Man, she's cute. And that shot barely missed. What were you even watching?" Another nudges him, grinning. "Don't lie. You were totally staring at Zoe Hojo, weren't you?" Youtah quickly shoots back. "I wasn't." But then, their eyes meet. She looks at him, smiling softly. No, wait. Is she blushing? All three boys freeze, caught completely off guard as Hojo turns away. Inside, Youtah's mind is spinning. What the hell was that just now? Both of Youtah's friends are still stuck on the same thought. Was she looking at the guy with the long hair? What was she even trying to pull back there? As the MC, Youtah, walks out of the school building, his mind won't shut up. "Zoe Hojo's been seriously messing with my head lately. The real problem is, I have no clue what she's thinking. But then something clicks. She's never once brought up anything about my older brother. He stops in his tracks. Wait, could it be? Is there actually a chance that she's into me? Youtah imagines a scene in his head. Hojo walks up to him with that familiar smile and says, "Hey, aren't you Youtah?" The truth is, I'm in love with Tohno. I really hope he notices me. But just like that, the daydream vanishes. He snaps back to reality. And there she is, Hojo standing right there, chatting with his older brother. From behind him, another girl's voice cuts in. "Hey, who's that girl? She's seriously cute. Wasn't she a first year before?" And inside, the MC sighs with that cold, familiar disappointment. "Just like I thought. You're one of them too, aren't you?" As the MC, Youtah, tries to walk through the hallway, a group of girls suddenly crowd him. "There's no way we're letting you get ahead of us." One of them snaps, pushing past. He's knocked down, stepped on, left on the floor like he was invisible, trampled not just physically but emotionally. It's always been this way. For as long as he can remember, every time a girl seemed interested in him, it was never really about him. They'd smile, act friendly, pretend to care. But their eyes? They were always looking past him, straight at his older brother. They used him like a stepping stone just to get closer to someone else. That's why the MC doesn't trust girls anymore. That's why he stopped believing in those fake smiles. Because behind every hello was a lie. As the MC, Youtah, lies on the ground, trampled and humiliated, a voice cuts through the noise. A girl kneels beside him, gently offering a handkerchief. "Are you all right?" she asks. He stares at her hand but doesn't reach for it. In his mind, a bitter thought echoes. "These girls who show me kindness, I'll never trust them again." They sit quietly in the same frame. She sets the handkerchief next to him. "You can use that if you want," she says softly. Silence lingers. Then he speaks. "Why? Why aren't you chasing after my brother like the others?" She pauses, then turns her head to glance at his older brother. For a moment, it seems like she's considering it. But then, she looks back at Youtah, her eyes clear. "Why, you ask?" she repeats with a small smile. "Well, it's simple. It's because I found you." She nudges the handkerchief closer. "Come on, just take it already." The MC, Youtah, blushes faintly as he accepts the handkerchief. "Thanks," he murmurs. She sits down beside him with a soft smile. "You're welcome," she replies. "Just make sure you return that, okay? That handkerchief you're holding. It's my favorite one." Youtah tightens his grip on the cloth, eyes narrowing as a whirlwind of thoughts race through his head. "I've made up my mind. There's no doubt about it. This girl must be after my brother. There's no other explanation. No way, no way, absolutely not. I won't fall for it. I won't be tricked again." He glances up, and there it is again. That same smile, that beautiful face. And her gentle voice repeats, "You're welcome. There are just some things in this world I can never bring myself to trust." The MC, Tohno, thinks to himself. Suddenly, someone calls out to him. "Tohno, what's your zodiac sign?" It's Hojo, the girl who's been talking to him more and more lately. She always says his name so casually, too casually. She's probably just interested in my older brother, he assumes. But then she leans right in, her face just inches from his. "Hey, good morning," she says with a playful grin. Caught off guard, he mumbles back a greeting. And just like that, "So, what's your sign?" "Virgo," he replies. "Virgo?" she repeats, staring at him now like, really staring. There's a strange intensity in her gaze. Then, without warning, she steps in closer, way too close. Before he can react, she reaches out and grabs his tie, and yanks it clean off. Startled, Tohno shouts, "What the hell are you doing?" His voice echoes down the hallway. He looks down in disbelief. His tie is really gone. "Give it back." "Seriously, what the hell?" she asks again. So we see a cheerful voice announcing, "Good morning. This is Urara's outfit of the day, sky blue cardigan, Urara-style pom-poms in her hair, and of course, a blue Harmony juice to top it off." Then someone says excitedly, "Hey, look, Virgo's lucky color today is blue. Dark green is supposed to bring bad luck." So I ditched the tie. Instead, Urara shows off her special blue veil backpack. "What's that even supposed to mean?" she asks, tilting her head. The MC, Youtah, just stares and thinks to himself, "Exactly what I thought. I'll never figure out what's going on in her head. Sorry to break it to you, Hojo, but I don't believe in horoscopes. And I sure as hell don't trust girls like you. Girls who smile sweetly while hiding the truth. But the moment he puts his tie back on, wham! A ball nails him right in the back of the head. Later, the school gardener accidentally sprays him with a full blast of water. And if that wasn't enough, he gets trampled by a wave of girls rushing down the hallway. Soaked, bruised, frustrated. There's just no point in trusting them. Today's been nothing but one long streak of bad luck. The MC thinks with a sigh. Is it just me? Or does Youtah look more worn out than usual? One of his friends asks from behind. Yeah, he does. Another adds, nodding in agreement. The MC thinks to himself, don't tell me. Was Hojo-san actually right all along? He watches as Hojo, speaking softly in that innocent little voice of hers, mutters something to herself. This girl. Maybe she's easier to read than I thought, he wonders. Could her lucky color be white or something? She stands up to leave her seat. The MC walks over to her desk and picks up a small doll she forgot. But just as he does, his tie snags on the edge of the table. He stumbles, then accidentally crashes right into Hojo. She turns around, eyes wide. And Youtah? He's absolutely mortified. But just then, Hojo steps in, stopping the MC from getting crushed under the rush of girls stampeding toward his older brother. She says with a sigh, geez, look at that crowd. One more step and you'd have been trampled. Lucky for you, I was here. The MC stares, completely confused by what just happened. Then, as the screen shifts to color-coded panels, she points and says, look here, it's your lucky color. Ha! He suddenly notices her hair. It's a soft shade of blue. So, why did you call me over? He asks. Oh, right, the weather charm, she says. But wait, that's not it, is it? Are you seriously telling me that's not your lucky item? He narrows his eyes. Okay. Seriously, what is with you? A boy who practically shines. That's what everyone says. Surrounded by a crowd of girls, one of them swoons. Risama looks so handsome today too. This radiant boy? He's none other than Youtah Tohno, the MC's older brother. Nearby, two girls chat as they admire him. Did you know he has a younger brother at this school too? One whispers. Wait, really? Who? The other asks, glancing around. Then she spots him. She points directly at Youtah Tohno, the MC, a high school boy standing alone with a gloomy look in his eyes. Both girls study him for a moment, and a thought clicks between them. If we get closer to him, maybe we can get Risama's number. And just like that, the MC knows exactly what they're thinking. This is why he doesn't trust girls. They never care about me. It's always my brother they're after. Every time. That's why I'll never trust them. Not ever. He thinks to himself, already on edge. Especially when that flashy, braided girl beams and says, look, Toncoin is back. That girl is Izumi Hojo. She turns to him with a bright smile. Welcome back. Lately, Izumi Hojo has been all over the MC. And that's exactly the problem. For someone like him who doesn't trust easily, it's unsettling. He scowls. Don't welcome me back. You're literally sitting in my seat. They both pause as they realize the situation. Hojo shifts slightly but doesn't move away. You can have the back half of the seat, she offers casually. That's good enough, right? The MC looks completely thrown off. There's no way I can sit like that, he snaps. This is Izumi Hojo, a beautiful girl who refuses to budge from his seat like it's totally normal. Everyone in class is obsessed with her. She's got fans all over the place. But the MC doesn't buy it for a second. The only reason she's even talking to me, he thinks, narrowing his eyes, is to get closer to my brother. But there's definitely something off about her. Izumi Hojo leans in close to the MC and says, writing in your journal, huh? Feeling confident, are you? That catches him completely off guard. He turns his head toward her, confused. Huh? He doesn't get what she's talking about. Then she grins and adds, ah, you totally forgot, didn't you? The braided girl casually drops a bomb. Get ready, it's the math quiz. Even Laura just found out, and yet somehow, she looks completely unbothered. Like there isn't a single ounce of stress in her. Yeah, what she said. Someone mutters. Shock spreads across the class like a wave. But none of it compares to the MC's disaster. He got 5 out of 50. All right, the teacher announces. If you scored 10 points or less, don't forget, you're making up the test tomorrow. Everyone looked shaken. But somehow, most of them passed without a hitch. Izumi barely dodged a failing grade. Others even said the quiz was too easy. One of Yutah's friends tries to cheer him up. Don't take it too hard, Youtah. I got 40 out of 50, and we didn't even know there was a quiz coming. That's gotta sting. Then another guy chimes in. Wait, who actually got a perfect score? His friend teases. Maybe it's because you were chatting with Hojo before the test. You looked pretty confident. Youtah snaps back. No, I wasn't. They both laugh. Youtah sighs and thinks to himself, yeah, I seriously need to go home and study. Meanwhile, his friends are already making plans to hit the arcade. But not Youtah, he's stuck doing math homework. Well, maybe not at home, he tells himself. As he walks along, he spots the library sign up ahead. Without a second thought, he heads inside. Sitting alone at a desk, the MC lets out a frustrated sigh. I thought a change of scenery might help, but I still don't get it. He stares at the question in front of him. How am I even supposed to move point P? Running a hand through his hair, he glares down at the scribbles in his notebook and the mock exam in front of him. Nope, still doesn't make sense. Suddenly, a voice cuts through his spiral. You made a mistake. Startled, he jumps and yells. Loudly, every pair of eyes in the library turns toward him. Sorry? He mutters, quickly covering his mouth. Standing in front of him is none other than Izumi Hojo. With a calm smirk, she says, studying hard, huh? The MC is stunned. He stares at her, wondering why on earth she's here. Wait, she's actually in the library? Using it? Seriously. That alone throws him off. In his mind, Izumi Hojo totally seemed like the type to spend her afternoons lounging at some aesthetic cafe downtown, not tucked into a quiet corner of the school library. While the MC sat in the library trying to focus, he couldn't help but glance at Izumi Hojo's Instagram profile. Even though she was sitting right next to him, he tried to study, pen in hand, head buried in his notes. Meanwhile, Izumi casually flipped through a light novel beside him. One of those with a hilariously long and dramatic title. Flirty, beautiful girl, how outrageous. The most beautiful girl in school flirts with me, so I almost got the wrong idea. But there's no way she's actually into me. Yes, that was the actual title. The MC let out an involuntary noise, a mix of confusion and disbelief. Izumi glanced at him. What? She asked. It's nothing, he muttered, quickly averting his eyes, slightly red-faced as he peeked at the ridiculous book cover again. Then, without warning, she leaned in closer. So why are you sitting next to me? She asked, her eyes narrowing with a teasing glint. I should be asking you that, the MC replied. Are you here to help or something? She didn't respond with words at first. Instead, she casually pointed to the sheet of paper in front of him, completely blank. The MC froze. Look, you still haven't written anything? Izumi Hojo pointed out bluntly. Her eyes locked onto the MC's blank paper. She totally caught him off guard. Is this from today's quiz? She asked casually. Of course, he muttered, trying to play it cool. That reminded him. Didn't Takayama mention that Hojo was supposed to be smart? The MC glanced at her, still not quite sure what to make of her. She had spent most of the time spaced out, buried in her light novel. She didn't exactly look like someone who paid attention in class. Then, without even asking, Hojo had already flipped through his quiz papers. You failed. Don't just say it like that. He panicked, voice rising as he snatched the paper back and quickly looked around, praying no one else noticed. What about you then? He asked, trying to turn the tables. Me? She echoed with a smug smile, casually pulling out her own paper. Perfect 50 out of 50. She completely aced the test. A smug grin lit up Izumi Hojo's face as she proudly waved her perfect score in front of the MC, who wasn't even looking, until she pushed the paper closer and closer, almost shoving it in his face. You're so annoyingly persistent, he muttered, clearly frustrated. You're the one who asked, remember? She fired back with a teasing smirk. Then, shifting her tone, she added gently, I can help you with the parts you didn't understand. There was something different in her eyes now, soft, sparkling, as if silently repeating, let me teach you, let me teach you, let me teach you. All right, he finally gave in. They began studying together, but as she explained the answers, she suddenly paused and asked, wait, you just memorized them, didn't you? He froze. A nervous drop of sweat rolled down his cheek. She was right. She patiently walked him through the problems, explaining this and that, scribbling notes across the page. Before he knew it, they were done. And for once, the MC felt genuinely satisfied. The clock read 5 p.m. The library had grown quiet. He called out, "Hey, Hojo!" But when he turned to her, he froze. Bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun through the library window, Izumi Hojo looked breathtaking, light as a feather, radiant in the stillness. He was stunned. "You're finished?" she asked softly. "I wanted to double-check your answers, but maybe after you're done reading?" "No, I'm done. I finished," he replied, his voice a little flustered. He sat there, cheeks turning red, thoughts swirling. Was she really just sitting here waiting for me to finish? But why? Could it be? Is Hojo actually into me? She leaned in to glance at his notebook, her shoulder just brushing his, then smiled with a faint blush. It's all correct. The MC's heart started racing the moment he heard her words. Her voice, her smile. Everything felt like a scene straight out of a romantic light novel. His brain nearly short-circuited as she leaned in closer. Then she casually said, "Oh my mom just got home. I've gotta go." Just like that, she gathered her things and walked off. She didn't even live near the library, yet she'd stayed with him this whole time. As the door opened again, someone else stepped in and said, "You're still here." The MC, who had studied the entire afternoon, thanks to Izumi Hojo, walked into school the next day and scored a perfect 50 out of 50. First year of high school. Youtah Tohno, the MC, is out shopping. He spots a vegetable he wants and heads toward it, thinking, vegetables are so damn expensive. Weren't they cheaper last time? You practically have to be rich to afford these now. He reaches for a cabbage. Veggies, veggies. That voice. It's unmistakable. Izumi Hojo. She's here, right in front of him. Their eyes meet. Both freeze. Well, mostly Youtah Tohno, the MC, is clearly more shaken. "Oh, you're shopping too?" she says with a smile. "Why, yeah, I guess," he replies, still trying to process why she, of all people, is here right now. Seeing Izumi Hojo in such casual clothes, it's honestly kind of refreshing. She actually looks pretty cute. But then, suddenly, the MC, Youtah Tohno, snaps out of it. "What the hell am I thinking?" He jolts slightly, embarrassed. "She's messing with my head again," he mutters to himself. As he glances into her shopping basket, all he sees is a pile of snacks. Curious, he asks, "You're shopping? What's on your list?" She casually pulls out a crumpled slip of paper and hands it to him. He takes it, starts reading, still puzzled by how someone like Hojo always keeps him off balance. Then it hits him. Izumi Hojo is buying stuff that's completely different from what's written on her shopping list. Meanwhile, in her head, she's already got her excuse lined up. "They said I could use the extra money for snacks, but Youtah Tohno, the MC, isn't having it. You've totally got your priorities mixed up. Aren't you supposed to be the smart one?" She clutches her snack like it's a rare treasure, looking away. "You can grab the snack later," he insists. "Now go put these back." But she holds it tighter, hugging it like a plushie. There's no way she's letting it go. She gave him a long, unreadable stare. Youtah Tohno, the MC, looked back, confused. What's with that look? Seriously, I can never tell what this girl is thinking. Just when he thought they were making progress, Izumi Hojo quietly put the snack back on the shelf, only to suddenly get distracted by ice cream. He shouted, "Hey, I don't remember seeing ice cream on that list." He sighed, "Ugh, give me that list already." Grabbing the paper from her hand, he pulled her gently by the arm. And just like that, the two of them ended up shopping together, grabbing this, that, and a bunch of other things that definitely weren't on the list. At the end, as Izumi Hojo finished checking out at the counter, she looked genuinely happy. "Thanks to Tohno, I managed to get everything I needed, including snacks." She gave the MC a bright smile. Who would have thought? Turns out he's actually kind of thoughtful. "What's with you?" he muttered, a little flustered. As she turned to leave, she waved casually. "Thanks. Catch you later." "Yeah. See you," he replied. Then it hit him. Under that gloomy sky, he stood there thinking, how the hell did I end up helping Hojo of all people with her shopping? Just then, someone called out, "Yu-chan, is that you?" He turned to see the shopkeeper, Annie. "Oh, hey Annie," he said, a bit surprised. She raised an eyebrow with a teasing grin. "Was that girl just now your friend? Or maybe your girlfriend?" Immediately, the MC, Youtah Tohno, turned red. No way. She's not my girlfriend." He waved his hands nervously. "She's just a friend." No, actually, not even that. Just a classmate. Annie gave him a knowing look. Really? You two looked like you were having a good time. Having fun? He repeated under his breath. Flustered, he paused, deep in thought. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen Isumi Hojo laugh. That realization lingered in his mind. Although, I do remember her smiling when my brother was around. He reflected, a memory surfacing. A faint image came back to him. A girl laughing beside his brother, carefree and cheerful. Then her voice echoed in his thoughts. To be honest, I'm only talking to Youtah to get closer to his brother. Those words stung. That's not fun at all, is it? I'll never let myself be fooled again. As Youtah Tohno clenched his fist, a small sense of victory crept in. He'd finished shopping and even managed to save some money today. That alone was enough to put him in a good mood. But then, he noticed something. Isumi Hojo was standing nearby, completely still in the rain. She didn't have an umbrella. Did she forget to bring one? He wondered, hesitating. Well, it's not like it has anything to do with me, he told himself, trying to turn away. But then, he remembered the Andes incident. That moment tugged at him. Before he knew it, he stepped forward. He didn't say much. He simply moved beside her and held his umbrella out, shielding her from the rain. You'll catch a cold like that, you know, he said softly. She turned to look at him as he spoke. So, here I am, giving you this. Isumi Hojo blinked. Hey, are you sure? Before they knew it, they were walking side by side, sharing the same umbrella as the rain fell gently around them. The MC thought to himself, somehow we ended up walking together. I thought I was just handing her the umbrella. But here we are, under it. Together. Then another thought crept in. What's going on with you, Hojo? Most girls wouldn't just agree to share an umbrella with some random guy. As their shoulders brushed against each other, the MC stumbled slightly and quickly apologized, his cheeks turning red. But Isumi Hojo just smiled and said, It's fine. I guess there's not much space for both of us. Huh. He could feel how close she was now. This umbrella, it's really meant for just one person, he said, trying to play it cool. Not much we can do about that. He swallowed hard. The closeness, the warmth, it was starting to make him a little nervous. Even standing this close to her, the MC couldn't shake the feeling. She's just doing all this to stay on my good side, right? That nagging doubt refused to go away. Then, out of nowhere, he heard the rumble of an engine. A truck, racing down the wet street at full speed. As the MC glanced toward it, a wave of realization hit him. No way. She's not actually enjoying this, is she? His thoughts were cut short. In the blink of an eye, water from the truck's tires splashed up in a massive arc. And without thinking, the MC jumped in front of Isumi Hojo, shielding her with his own body. A cold, soaking wave drenched him completely. As the truck sped off, leaving a trail of water behind, Isumi Hojo turned to look. She stared at the drenched figure beside her. Are you okay? She asked, her voice laced with concern. But the MC, completely soaked, just looked at her instead. What about you? Are you all right? They both seemed fine, just wet and surprised. Still, Isumi Hojo glanced at him and said with a playful sigh, You know, you could have avoided all that if you just used your umbrella. She wasn't wrong. The MC scratched his head, clearly embarrassed. And no, it's fine. I mean, as long as you're not wet, then whatever. But the moment they stepped under the umbrella, a hidden leak betrayed them. A quiet drip, drip, followed by a sudden splash. Now both Isumi Hojo and the MC, Youtah Tohno, stood completely soaked, blinking at each other under the gloomy sky. Their eyes met, half shocked, half helpless. Then suddenly, Isumi Hojo burst into laughter. A full, genuine laugh. It lit up her face, flushed cheeks and all. Huh? What are you even doing, Tohno? She giggled, brushing wet strands of hair behind her ear. The MC, clearly embarrassed and in a bit of a bad mood, lowered his head. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen like this. But she just smiled, soft and reassuring. I know it isn't. It's all right. Thank you for protecting me earlier, Isumi Hojo said softly. The MC, Youtah Tohno, looked at her, his thoughts spinning. Isumi Hojo, what a strange girl. She laughs at the weirdest times, like everything in the world's a little funnier to her than it should be. The gloomy sky that had loomed over them all day had finally cleared. He turned toward her. Come on. Let's head home before it starts pouring again. But before he could even take a step, she called out. Unless you want to catch a cold, better run. With that, she dashed off ahead of him, splashing through puddles. The MC watched her for a second, heart beating a little faster, a faint blush rising on his face. To him, Hojo Isumi was definitely someone to keep an eye on. It was Youtah Tohno's first year in high school. He stood at 167 centimeters tall. Then came Isumi Hojo, the blonde-haired, brunette-eyed girl, casually walking up to him and saying, "Tohno, you and I are the same height." That caught him off guard. "Ha!" With a playful smile, she added, "Yup. I'm also 167 centimeters, you know?" He stared at her, stunned. "Yeah, that's really what she said." Trying not to let it bother him, the MC mumbled, "Well, if you round up, I'm basically 168. Still, the numbers didn't lie. He was 167. Slightly sulking, he quietly sipped his apple juice, lost in thought. His friend, sitting beside him, raised an eyebrow. "Hey, go easy on the drinks, man. You'll upset your stomach." "Okay," he muttered, still drinking gloomily, while Isumi Hojo stood in front of the vending machine, staring intently at the options. Whispers rippled through the background. "Hey, isn't that Hojo-san?" one student murmured. "Yeah, she looks amazing today, like always," another replied. "Is she having trouble deciding what to buy?" Even her confused expression somehow came off as adorable. Meanwhile, the MC was standing nearby, just as parched and eyeing the same vending machine. His throat was dry, but his thoughts were tangled. "Man, whatever she does, she makes it look good," one guy chuckled behind him. Then someone called out from behind, "Hey, Tohno, what's taking so long?" It was Danny, short and slightly impatient. She'd been trying to buy a juice herself, but couldn't seem to reach the one she wanted. Seeing the situation unfold, the MC, Youtah Tohno, couldn't help but comment, "You're seriously way off." Without a second thought, he stepped forward and bought the drink for her. Now, let's talk about Yutah's older brother, Ria Tohno, also known as Ray Soma. This guy is the very definition of charm. He's so ridiculously good-looking that people say roses bloom in slow motion whenever he makes eye contact. Literal rose petals fall just by him walking past. Watching the spectacle, Youtah and his friends stood off to the side, mumbling to each other. "What's with all the flowers? Is your brother some kind of urban legend? Seriously, maybe if you tried, you could pull that off too." Youtah stared blankly at them and replied with a deadpan face, "Yeah, like hell I could."